Hi guys, and welcome to another video where today we're going to be attempting to predict the final league table of the English League Championship. Now it's a notorious difficult league to predict, just like last year. Anybody really on any given day can beat another team. In some ways I prefer the Championship to the Premier League. Overall though, over the summer it's been a great summer with the World Cup as well, brilliant World Cup. I think, in my opinion, it's been the best World Cup since 1986, which was in Mexico. But enough of that, let's just get on and into it and into the predictions.
Okay, so first of all, we're going to predict who is going to get relegated from the, or who we believe is going to get relegated from the Championship this season. So, who I think will finish rock bottom, I am going to go for Bolton. Sorry, Fogden, but anyway, Bolton. What's happening down there? Your players are going on strike left, right and centre. While you have bought in so many, or you've bought in many good transfers, it is team chemistry at the end of the day that does get you through the Championship. And if you don't have a team that bonds well together and is working with the coaches, with the club, then I just can't see you going that far in the league. So, unfortunately, I am going to put you 24th. Okay, so in 23rd, I have gone for Rotherham to also get relegated. They just come back up. Unfortunately, I think they're just going to go straight back down. They've signed quite a few players, but they aren't of that much quality, in my opinion. But looking at your biggest, but I think your biggest transfers are people like Billy Jones,
Sean
Raggett, people like that. People that not many people have ever heard of, really. And you've lost quite a few players as well going out, so I just don't think he'll survive, unfortunately. It was really hard to pick whether Bolton or Rotherham were going to finish bottom. It's going to be really close down there, I reckon. In 22nd position, I could have put 4 teams here, but I had to put the weakest team, in my opinion, and the team that are most risk of going down, and that's QPR. Mainly because squad, they haven't brought in too many players.
They haven't been able to,
because they're under a transfer embargo for the whole season. And for that reason, if you start with if you have a poor start to the season, then I just can't see you doing well because you can't bring anyone in. Plus, best thing is they have Stephen McLaren as their manager, so they are 100% doomed.
Coach-wise, he's pretty good, or he has been in the past.
In the past, he has, but in the last few years, worst England coach in the modern era, in my opinion. Even though I'm not English, he failed to get the golden era to the Euros in 2008. He was the main factor in Newcastle getting relegated, and he also couldn't get Derby into the Prem, so they have no chance, in my opinion. Goodbye, QPR.
Okay, for my 24th team, I've gone for Bolton Wanderers, exactly the same as you. The shenanigans over the close season with the players going on strike, not being paid and all that, that's going to have an effect, surely, on their preparations for the new season. They've mainly bought in free transfers. I think they've only bought in free transfers so far as well. That doesn't bode well, as well with players going out as well. You know, they've got the likes of Craig Noon, who's been around in the Championship for a while, a Fondra as well, who's never I think he's had one good season, but I can't see them doing anything this season. Unfortunately, Bolton, you're going down. In 23rd position, I've gone for Rotherham. Rotherham did come up via the playoffs last season. You normally get one of these clubs struggling big time, and I think that's going to be Rotherham. I don't think they've got a good enough squad, unfortunately, at this point in time to survive. Unfortunately, Rotherham going down 2, in my opinion. My final relegation space or spot goes to Hull City. A little bit of a surprise, maybe not to some other people. They've lost a lot of players in key positions, like Seb Larsson, I think Craig Dawson, who's getting on a little bit, although they have replaced Dawson, I think, with Reece Burke from West Ham for, I think it's around about 1.7 million, according to reports. So, but overall, I think they're going to struggle big time. Nigel Atkins isn't going to be able to get them out of this spot.
No chance.
Maybe he'll have the sack by Christmas, you never know, I don't know. Hull City, I think you're going down. Okay, so our next 3 positions is 21st, 20th and 19th. And in 20th, I've gone for Queen's Park Rangers. You touched on their transfer embargo. This is going to hinder them big time. They had an okayish season last season. You know, they wouldn't have pumped for the playoffs in any way, just below mid-table. I think with that transfer embargo heavily weighing on them, they're going to finish in 21st. In 20th, I've gone for Reading. Reading now with Paul Clement. He didn't really turn things around when he came in their last season, struggled slightly, and I think that's going to continue. Then they're just going to avoid the relegation to the First Division. And in 19th place, I've gone for Blackburn Rovers. Blackburn Rovers came up in second spot last year from Division 1. I think this is going to be a season where they need to stay in the league and then build on it for next season. So that's my 20th, 21st, 20th of 19th.
In 21st, I've gone for Ipswich. Now, goodbye Nick McCarthy. They haven't signed too many people, but I believe.
No.
They struggled at the end of last season especially. I can't see them doing any better, and the only place I can really put them is narrowly missing out on relegation in 21st. In 20th, I've gone for Hull. You touched up on it.
Yeah, going back to Ipswich, I think, I'm not sure if Waghorn's on his way out yet, if he's left or not, and that would be a big loss for them as well. So
that might push them into relegation places if he goes, in my opinion. But anyway, 20th have gone for Hull, as you touched upon. I think they've wasted their money, in my opinion, on the players that they've signed. Really poor scouting decisions, in my opinion. Not the best. And I think Atkins will be out possibly by November or Christmas as well. Then in 19th, I've put Reading. Terrible year last year. Yapstam out the door immediately. Brought in Paul Clement. Struggles at the end of the season. I think he'll struggle at the start of the season as well. And they haven't really brought in too many players. I think they'll finish in 19th Reading. Moving on to 18th, 17th, 16th, I have gone for Birmingham City in 18th. Mainly because, same thing goes, not many players brought in. Gary Monk, he's an okay manager. I don't think they'll finish as low as they did last season. I think he'll boost them up the table a tiny bit, but I can't see them working their magic this year. Same with in 17th for Blackburn. Played well last season. I think this year they're just going to have to put their foundations and stay
consolidate, really, aren't they?
Yeah. I think they'll be 100% safe Blackburn. No chance of going down, in my opinion. In 16th I've put Bristol City, mainly because you keep losing a few of your best players, i.e. Bobby Rees coming to Cardiff, of course, and of course Aidan Flint going up to Middlesbrough.
Yeah, good signing that.
That was a quality signing, especially with the size of him. He's just a great all-round defender, I believe. I don't think Lee Johnson will be able to work his magic like he did in the FA Cup last year. And that's my 18th, 17th and 16th.
Okay, 18th for me, I've gone for Ipswich as well. Struggled, well, no, they didn't really struggle last season. They finished in 12th position, but I think they're going to be worse off this season. See them finishing in 18th position, especially if this Waghorn saga continues and he leaves the club. That's going to leave them short up top. Ipswich Town's, tell me if I'm wrong there. Next up, I've got 17th Wigan, who got promoted as Championship champions from the First Division last season. Can see them along with Blackburn consolidating. They may have a slightly better season than Blackburn Rovers. Play some good football, Wigan do as well. And of course they've got Will Grigg, who we'll see if he's going to be on fire this season as well. And then in 16th position I've gone for Birmingham City. A slight improvement on last season's 19th position. Gary Monk, as a manager, I don't really rate. He's okay, but you know, the likes of Swansea, they got rid of him, or he walked out. Leeds United as well, and Middlesbrough was a bit of a disaster, really. Birmingham, he improved them slightly last season when he did go in there, and I think there will be a slight improvement again, but they're not going to set the world on fire. Okay, in 15th position, I've gone for Bristol City. They've lost two of their best players. Who's it that's gone to Middlesbrough? Aidan Flint, centre half there, and Bobby Reed. So that's a lot of goals going from the side as well. Whether they can replace them with the quality they brought in, I don't know. But I think they're going to struggle slightly. Not going to have as good a season as they did last year. I see them in 15th position. Yeah. In 14th position, I can see Norwich City ending up there, exactly the same position that they finished last season, with the likes of Josh Murphy and their other winger Maddison going out to Leicester City. Two big losses really there. I know that they have replaced them with the likes of Ben Marshall in midfield, coming in from Wolves for around about 1.5 million. However, I don't think they're going to make any strides in this division again this season. I'm going to see them finishing in 14th. In 13th position, I've gone for Millwall. Millwall had a great season last season. they're not going to do as well, in my opinion, this season. Sorry, Millwall fans. Don't think they've brought in enough quality, really, and other teams know what they're all about now, and I think they're going to find it a little bit more difficult, but overall they're going to have a solid season.
Okay, in 15th I've gone for Wigan. Like you said, that this is their foundation season. They're 100% safe from relegation, in my opinion. Then 14th, Millwall, great season last year, finished 8th. They're not going to do as well as last year. They're going to be a bit of second season syndrome, but safe at least from relegation. So I'm going to put them 14th. And in 13th, this is probably the most controversial one on both of our lists, and probably going to get some many comments in the comment section below. And that's Aston Villa, mainly because they haven't signed anyone at all, really. Plus, I've heard so many things on Facebook, all over the news, that they're going to have to offload quite a few players, aka Jack Grealish. They've also released Gabriel Agbonlahor, John Terry's gone, Delata's loan's ended, that's what I can see anyway. But it doesn't appear that they're going to bring anyone in. I just think they're going to struggle this season.
Steve Roof, it's been confirmed that he's going to stay for the rest of the season. Massive rumours that Thierry Henry was going to take over there, but from what I've been reading last couple of days, Steve Bruce confirmed to be manager for the foreseeable future.
So I don't really know, especially if they have poor start to the season. I don't doubt they're going to get rid of him, really, but who knows? I just think they'll finish 13th, definitely not playoff worthy this year. In 12th position, I've gone for recently relegated Swansea City. Now, this is the lowest that I've put out of any of the relegated clubs, mainly because of their disastrous form at the end of the season. Carlos couldn't do anything. Carlos had a dream, couldn't make it worthwhile. Had to offload some key players as well that would have secured possibly a playoff finish. Players such as Fabianski, he's had to go. Andre Ayus had to leave, he's gone to Fenerbahce. Yeah, they haven't seemed to bring anyone in either, really. They have signed Jolosoro from Sunderland, but he didn't play well last year. I'm not sure if he's going to do well. They have brought some 23 and 19 stars in, but no chance in playoffs. Anyway, 11th I've put Sheffield Wednesday. Disaster last year. Carlos had a dream, couldn't make it, just like Swansea. They did have many injury problems last year as well, but I just can't see them doing well again. Lost a few personnel, but I just think they're going to finish 11th. In 10th position, I have gone for Leeds. They had an average season last year around. I think they're going to have another average season. They brought in some loanees, but they are trying to get Vidra from Derby, last year's top scorer, but I can't see that happening. Frank Lampard's going to keep him at Derby, but I think it's going to be another average performance from them, and I'm going to say 10th.
Okay, so my 12th position, I've gone for Sheffield United. Did well last year on their first season back up into the Championship. However, I think they're going to be, slightly down on that performance this season. I can see them finishing in 12th. Okay, in 11th position, I've gone for Leeds United. They brought in a new manager, Marcel.
Again.
Yeah, Bisal, or however you pronounce it.
He'll be gone in 3 weeks, probably.
Yeah, they have brought in a few players on loan, etc. But quality-wise, their squad should be there, but we'll see what the coach does with their players. As you say, Vidra, can they get him from Derby County? That remains to be seen. We don't know on that one, but Leeds, you'd see, they've been in the Championship now for a while. Not really, they've been around mid-table the past few seasons, and I can see that continuing again this year. And then in to 10th position, I've gone for the Jacks. I've gone for Swansea City. Came down last year from the Premier League. The likes of Key have moved back up to the Premier League with Newcastle. Leon Britton's retired. Ayew, as you say, has left the club as well, or one of the Ayew brothers.
And Fabianski, they're probably the most important
Fabianski, their keeper as well. So they really need to bring some Championship quality into their side who really knows the Championship in and out. That's what you need in this division, and I can't see them getting in near the playoffs. 10th position for me for Swansea. Okay, in 9th position, I have gone for Sheffield Wednesday. Had a bit of a disastrous season last season. At the beginning of the season, kind of picked up form towards the end of the season. They got a good squad there.
Played with injuries, though, that's the problem.
They did have big injuries. I can see them slightly better this season. Knocking on the door of the playoffs, but I just don't think they're going to reach it by the end of this season, see them finishing in ninth.
Okay.
In eighth position, with all that's going on at Aston Villa at the moment, the last 2 seasons they have spent the money. It hasn't come off. Steve Bruce, they didn't know if he was coming or going. He is staying now that we believe. As we said, Thierry Henry looks like he was going there, or there was massive rumours of him joining Villa, but that's not happening. As we see, things may change in a few weeks. You never know in football. But I can see Villa missing out on the playoffs altogether. They have got a good squad, but what happens if they do lose the likes of Grealish, which looks likely now? A couple of players get injured. Who comes in then? They're not going to have good enough quality to get into those promotion positions or playoff positions. In 7th position, I've gone for Brentford. They finished 9th last season. Dean Smith has done an excellent job there with a youthful looking side. Got some very good players in Brentford. I don't think they're going to get into the playoffs, but they're going to do really well again this season. Great style of play. See Brentford ending in 7th position. Of course, they're going into their new stadium. I think they want to be in there by around about December 2019 as well.
Yeah.
So, maybe they can get that stadium and move up to the Premier League if they're lucky. Maybe the season after next.
In 9th place, gone for Sheffield United. Good squad. I don't think they're playoff quality yet, but I've put them in 9th place. In 8th, I've gone for Preston. Good side under Alex Neil. Many people think that they're going to get into the playoffs. I don't think they will just yet. They just need to do a bit more strengthening, then they'll be there. And then in 7th, just missing out on the playoffs, I've gone for Brentford as well. Narrowly missing out. Dean Smith, amazing manager, really good young squad. Hopefully, maybe next season they'll be able to make that playoff push and get into the Premier League just in time for their new stadium arrival. Next up, I am going to do my playoffs, which are from 6th place to 3rd place. In 6th, I've gone for Norwich. That might divide opinion in the comments as well. But Norwich, they've made some really good signings as well, mainly for their first team, and as well to keep their squad depth. They've signed players such as Ben Marshall, great right midfielder, which is a replacement for Josh Murphy. They've also signed Tim Krul as possibly their backup. Maybe he could be the number 1, probably possibly a replacement from John Ruddy. They've also signed Borussia Dortmund wonder kid Felix Paslak, the 20-year-old. He was on loan at Hoffenheim last season. Really good right wing back. I think he's going to tear the Championship up by storm. Hasn't played too well since that Dortmund bus incident, but he's on his way back, and I think he'll be a really strong Premier League. If not, could be playing for Real Madrid in the future, but this could be the making of him.
They've also signed Jordan Rhodes as well from Sheffield Wednesday. But Jordan Rhodes, maybe he should have moved up to the Premier League now. Maybe he's not that great. Fine goal scorer, but as you say, you think they're going to finish in 6th position.
In 5th position, I've gone for Derby County. Of course, Frank Lampard's come in. Really good appointment, in my opinion. Might flop, might do well, but who knows? He's made some decent signings. Whether the signings can gel, they look really good at the end of the season. If they can keep Vidra, then I know they'll do very well, and that's why I put them in 5th position. In 4th, put their rivals in. I've put Nottingham Forest. Made some really good signings. They're kind of the Wolves of this season. I don't think they'll be able to break in to the automatic promotion places, mainly because their defence just needs a little bit of work, and I don't think it's strong enough. They have a really good manager under Aitor Karanka, and I think they'll be a strong playoff contending team. In 3rd position, I've gone for Stoke City. Getting relegated, of course, last time, finishing 19th. Lambert, terrible, but they've built a really good manager in Gary Rowett. Really good. They've lost some players, but they've signed many good players, and I think they'll be strong. Not quite getting into the automatics, but I think they'll finish in 3rd.
Okay, my playoff positions are as follows. In 6th position, I've gone for Preston. Preston have been knocking on the door for the past few seasons now, and I think they're finally going to manage to get into the playoffs at the end of the season. They have lost Cunningham left back, but I think he's been adequately replaced there. In 5th position, I've gone for Nottingham Forest. Have made some fantastic signings throughout the close season. I think I had my fingers burned last season where I said Wolves were going to finish around about, I can't remember it now, we were on about 8th position. I got it totally wrong. I think you got it totally wrong as well. They ran away really with the division, and I think Nottingham Forest, although they're not on the those sort of echelons of Wolves, they're going to have a fine season, get into playoffs. Whether they actually make it through the playoffs into the Premier League, I'm not so sure about, but they are going to have a very good season. In 4th position, I can see Derby. Derby have been there or thereabouts the last few seasons as well. Their squad have been together, a lot of them, for a while now as well. If they can keep hold of Vidra, as I think you've touched on as well, they're going to have a fine season. He was the Championship top scorer last year as well. And in 3rd position, I've gone for West Brom. West Brom, disastrous really in the Premier League last season until those last couple of months where they really did pick up some fine results. Maybe that was down to Darren Moore. He came in and he did kind of he turned things around for them there. I think they just missed out on the automatic promotion places, but they're going to have a very good season. A lot of the time, teams, when they do come down from the Premier League, they do struggle. I think West Brom are going to have a decent, good season.
And finally, in the automatic promotion places, in 2nd, I have gone for West Brom. Really good team. Unfortunately, crashed out of the Premier League last season. The biggest reason was because of the appointment of Adam Pardew. That was atrocious. Terrible decision by the West Brom board there. But Darren Moore did fantastic at the end of the season. They deserved to stay up, in my opinion. Should have sacked Pardew earlier and then put him in place. But I can see Darren Moore doing wonders this year with West Brom, or this season. And in 1st place, I have gone for Middlesbrough. They've brought in some pretty good players, Aidan Flynn, Julian Dessar. They got rid of some players as well, such as Fabio, also former Cardiff player there. But I think they're going to do very well this season. Got Tony Pulis under the helm. He'll make the squad gel together, and he'll get his 2nd promotion, I believe, into the Premier League with his side.
I think you went for Borough last year to finish in there.
I did. Didn't you? Yes, I did.
So my 2 teams to make it into the automatic promotion places are, in 2nd position, I've gone for Middlesbrough. You've gone for them for champions. I've gone 2nd. I think I tipped them to go up last season. It didn't quite work out for them in playoffs last season. However, experience from last season should stand them in good stead for this coming season. See them finish in 2nd position. But in 1st position, I've gone for Stoke City. They've retained a number of their players from the Premier League. Unlucky to come down, in my opinion, slightly. They've made some very good signings, particularly a Afobe from Wolves. They brought in Tom Ince. Tom Ince didn't really do it in the Premier League, but he knows all about the Championship. I think he came in for around about 11.2 million. Toby as well, and James McLean, the left winger from West Brom. They've actually stolen a player from one of their rivals for 5.6 million as well. The biggest signing that I think really that they have kept hold of Joe Allen, and Joe Allen is a massive key player for them.
And Crouchy as well.
Crouch, if he is there, I don't think he's gone away, but
he's still there.
You know, he'll only play a bit part really in their season next season. But for me, it's going to be Stoke City as champions. So that rounds up our predictions for the 2018-2019 season on how we think the table is going to look at the end of the season. Roast us in the comment section if you like. You know, we might be talking a lot of sense, we might be talking a load of rubbish as usual really, but that's what we think is going to happen. Hope you enjoyed the video, as we said, and we'll see you in the next video real soon.